Last month I had a woman in my shop, bought a brand new car, thought she'd negotiated hard, proper chuffed with herself. Then I looked at her paperwork. She'd paid nearly $4,000 extra for stuff that was either worthless or she could have got for 1/10 of the price somewhere else. And the thing is, she's not stupid, she just didn't know what to look for. I've been a mechanic for over 20 years. I see the aftermath of these dealer tricks every single week. The coatings that aren't coatings, the warranties that don't cover anything, the add-ons that were already installed. So today I'm going through the 5 most common ones, what they actually cost dealers versus what they charge you, and exactly how to say no without blowing up the deal. Here's the thing I see all the time. You've just done the hard bit. You got them down on the car price, you've been there 2-3 hours, you're hungry, your head's done in, and then they go, brilliant, let's just pop you into the office and do the paperwork. And that's usually where the real money starts. That finance office isn't just paperwork, it's a massive profit center for the dealer. On a lot of deals, they'll make around $2,500 per car in that room alone. Sometimes it's most of the store's profit. So the timing is not an accident. They wait until you're tired and you feel like you're basically finished. The move is simple. We're basically done, just sign here. Then, line by line, they rebuild the total with little add-ons that sound harmless. Listen for stuff like, required for approval, everyone gets it, or my favorite, it's only a few bucks a month. Your counter is boring, but it works. Before you talk about anything optional, get the out-the-door price in writing, fully itemized. Every fee, every add-on. If they won't itemize it, don't argue, just be ready to walk. Most people don't get rinsed on the car. They get rinsed when they're exhausted. Extended warranties are the one I see people feel most confident about, right up until something actually breaks. Folks roll into my shop saying, it's fine, I've got coverage. And then we ring the warranty company and suddenly there's always a reason it doesn't count. And look, I get why dealers love selling them. The markup is usually big. A lot of the time the dealer's cost might be, say, $800, and it gets sold to you for $2,000 or $3,000. Then the claim process is where it gets messy. I've seen them call things wear and tear, ask for years of service records, delay approval until the car's torn down, argue about the exact fluid used, or say it was pre-existing. Roughly 4 in 10 claims get knocked back one way or another. Had a bloke in last Tuesday, nice fella, bought a used BMW, paid $2,000 for the extended warranty. Transmission went out, warranty said wear item. He sat in my office looking at a $4,000 bill thinking he was covered. If you're considering one, don't look at the monthly payment. Rolling $3,000 into the loan hides it, and you pay interest on it too. Ask for the full contract, not the brochure. Get the administrator name. Check what they pay per hour for labour, what parts they allow, and whether they need tear-down approval. Then price check a similar plan outside the dealership. Often it's about half. And to be fair, on some cars that are pricey to fix, and if you're keeping it a long time, it can make sense. Just make sure you're buying a real safety net, not a nice feeling. Now, gap insurance. This one catches a lot of decent people out, and it's not because they're daft. It's because cars drop in value fast and loans are getting longer. So you can be doing everything right, paying on time, and still owe more than the car's worth. Then someone runs a red light, your car's written off, and suddenly you've got an insurance payout that doesn't cover the loan. That's the gap. Here's the bit that winds me up. The cover itself can be sensible, but the price at the dealership often isn't. I've seen dealer gap come in around $500 to $1,000 and they roll it into the loan nice and quiet. Meanwhile, a credit union might do similar cover for say $150 to $400, or your own insurer might add it for $20 to $60 a year. Same idea, wildly different price. Sometimes you're paying 5 to 10 times more just because you bought it in the finance office. And if you hear you need this for approval, slow down. You might need gap for your situation, but you usually don't need their gap. If you want it, price it with your insurer or your bank first. And if you can, don't roll it into the loan. Paying interest on insurance is a bit of a kick in the teeth. Right, so I'm curious, have you ever been hit with one of these add-ons? Gap, extended warranty, any of it? Drop it in the comments. I read them and some of the stories, Honestly, they're their own lesson. Another one I see all the time is the ceramic coating or paint protection they try to slide into the deal. A car rolls into my shop, customer swears it's been coated, and then you look at it in the sun. Water spots everywhere, little swirl marks, and when it rains, the water doesn't even bead up properly. That usually tells me there wasn't much prep done, if any. The money on these is wild. I've seen dealers charge $800 to $1,500, sometimes more like $2,000, for what's basically a quick spray sealant with a fancy name. Big markup, small effort. A proper ceramic job takes time. You don't just wipe it on and send you home. Real coating usually means paint correction first, then it needs a proper cure, at least 12 to 24 hours before it should be getting wet, and it keeps hardening over the next week or two. So if they say, we coated it this morning and you can drive it home right now, that's a bit of a red flag. Here's what you do. Ask, what exact product is it, brand and name, and what was the prep and cure time? If they get vague, tell them to remove it from the deal and get it done later by a proper detailer. Dealer coatings often last 1 to 3 years. A good independent job can go 5 to 10. And look, I ceramic coated my old rally car myself back in the day. Took me a full weekend just for prep and cure. So when someone tells me they coated it at lunch, mate, I know what that usually means. Here's another one I see all the time. The already installed add-ons. They stick a bunch of high margin nonsense on the car before you've even negotiated, so it feels like you've got no choice, like it's part of the vehicle now. It isn't. Best example, nitrogen in the tires. Regular air is already about 78% nitrogen, but somehow you're paying $200, $300, sometimes $500 for green valve caps and a story. Look, if stuff like this is saving you money, or at least saving you from feeling a bit mugged off at the dealer, hit like and subscribe. I put these out so you don't have to learn it the hard way like my customers did. Then there's VIN etching. Dealer charges $200 to $400 plus. You can buy a kit for, what, $15 to $30. And undercoating, often $800. Modern cars already have decent factory corrosion protection, and a sloppy undercoat can actually trap moisture and block drains. Main point, already installed is a negotiation tactic, not a law of physics. Tell them, calmly, fine, but I'm not paying for it. Remove it from the purchase price, in writing. If they won't, ask for an itemized out-the-door sheet and be ready to switch cars or walk. Verbal promises don't help you later. One of the most dangerous questions in a dealership is dead simple. What monthly payment are you looking for? Because once you give them a number, everything starts getting twisted to hit that number, not to get you a fair deal. They'll pull out that little 4-square sheet and suddenly you're talking trade-in, down payment, car price and monthly payment all at once. It's not that you're bad at maths, it's that nobody can track the whole picture when it's chopped into boxes. And here's how they make it work. They stretch the loan. You go from 48 months to 84 months and depending on the rate, you can add around $5,500 in interest over the life of it. Same car, same price, just longer pain. Also, watch the interest rate. Some dealers add 1 or 2% on top of what the bank actually approved, and that markup can be worth about $1,800 to them. So my rules are simple. Agree the out-the-door total first, fully itemized. Walk in with pre-approval from your bank or credit union. And don't sign anything until the final contract matches that itemized sheet line by line. When my dad handed me the shop keys 20 years ago, first thing he said was, know what you're signing before you sign it. Same rule here. I'll leave you with this, because I see it in my shop all the time. People come in thinking they bought a decent car, and then they're shocked at what they actually paid for. Paperwork products, little protections, and bits that were already on the car. And half the time, they didn't even realize they agreed to it. So here's the one rule I want you to remember. The sticker price isn't the price you pay unless you control the out-the-door number. If you do one thing, do this. Get the out-the-door price in writing, fully itemized, before you go into that paperwork room. And if they can't explain a charge clearly, or they won't put it on the sheet, you don't buy it. Simple as that. You can always add things later. It's a lot harder to remove them once you've signed. If you've got a mate or a family member buying a car soon, send them this. And tell me in the comments, what's the last add-on a dealer tried to sneak into your deal? I'm genuinely curious.